Hi everybody, how are you doing today? I'm having a really hard time at the moment, to be honest. Like the last couple of weeks since my children went back to school have just been so difficult. I don't know, I think I'm just struggling with going back to the routine of it all, and I'm just feeling totally and utterly trapped by, I guess, other people's lifestyles, and other people's schedules, and having to fit in, with what the children need and where the children need to be at particular times, and trying to make it as smooth as possible for them, especially because my daughter, she's just started year seven, so she's just started at secondary school. So it's a massive, massive leap for her, and she's doing fabulous. But I have to say, I'm really struggling, and because of that, my brain is just constantly thinking about stuff, and rest is quite tricky. Even at night, I'm not necessarily sleeping. So I've come down to the beach today. I was here yesterday, I was here Monday, I was here Sunday, and I'm really am using it as kind of therapy, I guess. It's really helping. Today I've got a headache and I just didn't really feel like doing anything. But the problem I find is if I sit and try and do very little, my brain just starts thinking about stuff. And yeah, to actually switch off my brain a bit more is the real problem. I'm happy to sit and rest and read a book or watch TV, but it kind of makes me think about other stuff, so it doesn't always help. But I've been finding the last few days coming down here and just basically deciding that's what I'm doing every day, don't even think about it, has been really helpful. So quite often I've spent some time just sat in the back of this van. I can see the sea from here and I can see people going backwards and forwards, but I kind of feel like I'm a little bit hidden. And I think that's what I need. I don't really want to be interacting with people very much. And then the last couple of days, I've then walked along the beach, taken my shoes off, walked in the sand, paddled in the sea, and I know it's a bit of a cliche, but that connection with nature is so important, and I think we miss it so much in the way that our towns and cities have been built, the way our lifestyles are. But it's like a treat to kind of um, connect with nature, whereas we need it every day. So I'm trying to make myself have that every day and try and kind of get myself out of this kind of rut that I'm in, this kind of blip and this kind of transition from a really lovely chilled out summer where I have to say I had a fabulous time to just getting back to, I guess, real life. And at the moment I feel like, oh, this is not the life I want, but we'll just see how we go. I think I've kind of got dreams at the moment, especially keep coming back into this van, of being one of those people who I follow on YouTube who live in a camper van on their own and travel around the world, or even just travel around their country. Having children does make that quite tricky. I know people do that sort of thing with children sometimes, but my children just want to go to school, and I really want to honour that decision. I don't want to be like, well, you've got to come travelling around the world with me, because I don't know if they'd like it. I don't know. It's a massive risk. I've lived abroad before. I lived in Australia for a couple of years, and it was fantastic, but it was really hard to start with, and it was really hard coming back, and I don't want to force that on them. So I guess I've got to find ways to travel or just even be outside. I've literally travelled 10 minutes from my house here to Exmouth Seafront. So that's a bit about me and a little bit about how it's hard work at the moment. Is anyone else finding that? I guess I'm so lucky and privileged to have the summer holidays with the children, and for it to be a completely different vibe, that getting back into it is difficult. Um, so I'm probably not the only person who's finding that. So let me know how you're feeling at the moment. I kind of feel like we never really say how we feel. We sort of see people, I bump into people on the school, and how are you today? Yeah, fine. How are you today? Yeah, fine. Unless you really know somebody, or you've got that kind of, I don't know, honest way of speaking, you tend to always say you're fine, and actually it's not always fine, is it? But it's a temporary thing and it'll get better. While I've got your attention anyway, I've just literally still trying to carry on with my project. So I've just put my talk that I did recently, well, it was early on in the year actually, in May, in Exmouth, online. So the rubbish talk, the talk about zero waste that I put online this week, it's gone onto my Patreon page. So if you're interested in listening to my talk, then you need to head over to Patreon. I'll put the link below. Basically, I've got Patreon, which helps support the things that I'm doing, and it's in various different tiers. So the videos are going to be available to people who are on the second tier or above, and it works out roughly at £2.90 a month. I say roughly because it's priced in US dollars, which is a bit weird, I know, because I am in England, but Patreon is a really good website, and I can't find something equivalent that's based in the UK, and it's easy to pay in any currency. They just convert it. So I've just done the exchange rate for you, convert it with the current exchange rate, I should say. So it works out about £2.90 a month. You can just literally hop onto Patreon, hop onto that tier, watch the talk, and then go. That's absolutely fine. There's no commitment to stay for any longer. Obviously, if you could stay longer, that's fabulous. I'd love that. There's lots of Patreon posts that I do, and I'm trying to build a little community there as well. So at the moment, I have put one part of the talk on Patreon, so I can only really upload videos around about, I think it's 14 minutes long. So I'm going to split up my talk that I did in Exmouth. I'm going to record it at home, and I'm going to do it in about 10 minutes each time. So the first 10 minutes is there now. It's immediately available if you go on Patreon. I'm just talking about how I started off sort of this journey towards trying to be zero waste, what inspired me, what helped me along the way, and sort of the first few steps that I took to get started. And then as the video continues, I'll post a bit more later on, probably at the end of this week. I'll talk about how I sort of deal with rubbish coming into the house, and how we now have our wheelie bin only full every 6 months. It's really consistently the case now. It's just kind of a new lifestyle for us, that we just don't create that much rubbish. So the talk's available now, like I say, and it will be added to week after week. Probably it'll take me another 2, maybe 3 weeks to record the whole video. There's going to be opportunities to ask questions as well, so that will shape how the video goes and what the sort of things I talk about. If you have any questions about that, let me know in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling today, and if you're struggling with the start of September, or if you're enjoying it. I think last year I really liked September. I found it like a new challenge, and it felt like an extra new year. I think you're so kind of in the rhythm of academic years that it feels like a bit of a fresh start, and I felt like I'd got lots of energy for new projects, but not so much so this year. Anyway, whatever you're doing, I hope you're okay. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.